All right, good afternoon, YouTube. Wow, another day, another drive stream. It is Saturday, a little past 11 o'clock on February 3rd, Saturday afternoon. And it is really nice outside. The temperature is 44 degrees. It's pretty warm considering that it's 44 degrees outside. I mean, there's a dude over there holding a sign, twirling it to get advertising and marketing for their business. Not exactly sure what business that is that he's marketing for. He's wearing an orange suit, like an orange, like a puffy suit thing. But today is a beautiful day to fly the drone, which I will do after I get a haircut. Dusty, good morning or good afternoon. Thanks for hanging out, brother. You gonna get airborne today? Saw you on Justin's live stream last night. That was pretty cool. And yeah, man, if you got something to talk about, do it. Become a talking head, so to speak. Yeah. So today, February 3rd. What's celebrated on February 3rd? Well, I looked it up. It's not something that I knew or had off the top of my finger. Off the top of my head or my fingertips. Or I guess they are at my fingertips when you just Google stuff, right? Going out in a while. Now, for sure. David, good afternoon. And I just saw somebody else brand new on there, Jenny Houston. Thanks for hanging out with us as well. Let's see here. I'm coming to a stoplight so I could get you a jacket / blue wrench. But yeah, on my way to go get a haircut. Tomorrow will actually be 2 weeks, and I usually get my haircut every 2 weeks because it's easier than getting it every 10 days, which is what my schedule was before. And every 2 weeks, it's typically a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday morning. I head over to the base, but not too late on a Sunday afternoon because that's when they shut down the gate, and I have to go even further away to go to another gate to get to the barbershop at the Navy Exchange. But headed over there right now. Not like as usual, not paying too much attention to chat so I can focus on the drive. But yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about my plan of the day and legacy. So first off, plan of the day, haircut, number one. I got the eggs already that my wife wanted me to get, so that's why I set the live stream to be 1:30 versus just going live. I thought I'd be a little bit longer, line in the grocery store, etc. At least I didn't go to the grocery store hungry, which I usually do, and then it's like, oh, I need chips and I need more ice cream and this and that. But I knew I was limited on time because I wanted to, at a minimum, be on time to start the live stream this morning. But yeah, so fly the drone. It's beautiful outside. I'll only have about, we'll say 3 hours of daylight by the time I get home later on. Now, I don't plan on flying my drone for 3 hours because today's drone flight was very specific. Actually, you know what? I'm past that very specific mission that I wanted to fly today, and that was supposed to be to test out the drone ND filters. I got an all-day pack, and so maybe what I need to do, thinking about it, is start in the morning, if you will, and go through all of these filters, to see how much, in fact, it really is an all-day pack of ND filters, so yeah, one of those things. It comes with an ND8, ND16, ND32, ND64. I think I also saw an ND1000, ND2000 polarized filter and something else. But I'm only gonna have a limited time of day, but it is pretty awesome outside here. Take a quick look here, switching the camera over, and for the DJI Mavic 3 Pro Cine. These are by Freewell, and it's a pretty good set. But check it out. Look at all these clouds. The sky looks good. This is town center. So this town center area here that you're looking at in front of us, that is what I was filming from, or that's what I was filming a few days ago. So if you didn't see that drone video yet, it's basically the sun setting. It was a target of opportunity, if you will, because I was just driving home. I was like, I've got to get on live right now and just to share that. And then next, you know, it turned into a, hey, take a look. And I got my drone in the air and was able to capture. And you'll find that I found that the sun sets a lot faster than I thought it would. I mean, we take for granted that it's up there right now. It's high. We don't have a lot of, but we're constantly moving. You know, we're moving at a rate of, you know, I don't know what the rate of rotation is. You know, but let's get back to me. You know, I don't know what the rate of rotation is, but it's only seconds that that you have to actually capture a sunset and even a sunrise as it breaks over the horizon. You know, a matter of seconds that it changes its position in the sky, or that we are changing position. It's all relative, right? But yeah, that's for the DJI Mavic 3 Pro Cine. And I got this pack because I lost the original set of ND filters that came with the drone. I was at a rugby game and I just forgot to put the pack in the bag. I guess it must have fallen out when I was at McDonald's or something, or when I was at the field, and I could not find it. In fact, that day I found this old lady's credit card. She dropped it on the ground, and I ran outside and returned it to her at the McDonald's. And I think that was the same day that I lost my ND filter pack. So the only filter that I had on the drone when I turned it on like the next day was the ND32, and I did not have the original lens cap either. So so everything was dark after that, and I didn't realize it until after the fact. It's cool though, because I emailed DJI because I was just gonna buy another replacement regular normal lens, but they sent me a quote to purchase just that original lens, which, yeah, they had sent to me. So I was very happy about that. But yeah, all right, see, let's take a quick look at a chat. 1,000, let's see here. Mad Props Media, I can't wait to try that this spring. I love chasing boats. Yeah, no kidding, right? 1,000 is supposed to be good for chasing boats for the blur of the water or waterfalls. Oh, really? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I needed to do some research on, because I only used the 8, 16, 60, 32, and I've used the 64 also once before. It was just super bright. It's like a, you know, but wanted to show and discover what all these various filters were for and used for, you know. So Mavic 3 Pro Cine, I hear you, baller. You know, the reason why I got that drone was for a specific job. I guess the video producer, the production guy, he wanted it to be an Apple ProRes. So I'm one of the few people in Virginia Beach that has, well, now an Apple ProRes drone. My mentor, he has one, but he just wasn't. He was actually the one that put me in touch with the editor, or it was like I went through because they're at him for the footage, but he asked me to do the job because he was out of town. And he goes, "Do you have a Mavic 3 Pro Cine? We need footage with Apple ProRes." And I said, "No, but I can get one." And sure enough, I did. I got that specifically for this job, and haven't had a need for Apple ProRes since. And wow, it takes up a lot of space, which is why it has its own internal hard drive, its own SSD in the drone built in, which is what makes it so expensive as well. But yeah, very happy with the drone. I like flying it too. I'm glad I have it. You know, it's big, and which is making me consider getting one of the minis. Probably the Mini 4 Pro, because it's the newer technology versus the 3. If there's any input out there or feedback with respect to, yeah, you should definitely just stay with the Mini 3 Pro or wait until the Mini 7 Pro comes out. So, because you know that's going to come out in next month, just like the DJI FP24. I'm starting that rumor. It's going to be the next DJI drone will be the FP24. With the DJI goggles 3V3 and remote motion controller. So it's a remote controller that you can also turn into a motion controller and fly it one-handed. right? So Gina, CCTV, thanks for joining. Also, Maria Panay, Germany, good afternoon. Thank you for joining as well. Yes, don't have Maggie with you today, Sir Jason. No, I do not. In fact, I'm going to go get a haircut on base at this time, and it's easier for me to just leave Maggie at home. And I figure instead of doing my normal haircut tomorrow, my wife is not going to be home. She's on travel, so I figure leave Maggie at home with her so she's not by herself. Because she doesn't like being at home by herself. She likes to be with us. I mean, she's a service animal. She is a service dog, you know. So she's either with me or Victoria, working, if you will. Yeah. So I mentioned the word legacy. Yeah. So in the title, and what are we talking about here? Right. Legacy can mean a lot of things, and that was triggered as a result of today being February 3rd, the day that, if you will, Don McLean writes about in the song American Pie. I know you know that song. Bye bye, bye bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And good old boys who were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Little acapella there for you. Yeah, in the very, the first stanza, the first verse of the song, he writes about that day, that cold day in February when he was delivering newspapers, and how sad he was that he read about an airplane crashing on February 3rd, carrying, who were the dudes again? Ricky Valens and two other singers. The day that the music died. Google it for me real quick, because I've drawn a blank. Who they were, unfortunately. But today is a national day of the day the music died, because those three very good singers were taken from the earth too soon. But yet their legacy lives on, just in the work that they've done, in the music that they've sung and written, as well as through Don McLean's song American Pie. So yeah, legacy, that's what it's all about, right? How are we going to leave the world? Now, many of us are not going to have a gigantic impact. We're not Mr. Beasts yet. We're not people that we're not famous. We're not, if you will, popular. We're not in the movies. We're not singers, or maybe we are. And you're just waiting to get discovered. We're making the YouTube videos to do the thing. Buddy Holly, the big raper, your big rap boper. Yeah, Richie Valens. Yes, good. Thank you very much. Mad Props Meter. There was who was the other guy? There was a third one. Or did you mention all three? But yeah, that's the point, right? That's the point. Legacy. How are we going to leave the world? And I hope, at least at a minimum, for me, I felt that I've served my country. I did what I felt, what I thought, as a fighter, as a warrior, to serve my country, to, what I believe was helping the people of Afghanistan, do something better for those people. And who knows, maybe along the ways, as a wrestling coach, as a scoutmaster, as a YouTuber, right? That is entertaining, that I think I'm entertaining anyway, right? At a minimum. Slightly entertaining anyway. That's a three. Buddy Holly, JP Richardson is the big bopper. Yep, and Richie Valens. Thank you very much, Mad Props Media. Good, very good. But yeah, all of you guys, for one, I hang out in your live streams also. I watch your videos, and you've left an impression on me. You've left an impression on me, a positive one at that, which is why I continue to watch your videos, and I appreciate that. And it's a legacy. Now, I may not remember you when I'm 80 years old, unless you continue to make the videos and stuff. Oh man, I gotta get in the. Oh, that's my credit card. All right, this guy's letting me in. And so, yeah, how are we going to leave the world? You know, and we may not have a direct impact on how we leave the world or our country or our state or our local community, but you know, the positive things that we do for the youth, even, right? And how we raise our children, and how we, you know, talk to each other as fellow co-workers, as friends. You know, we all hope to leave something positive in each other's lives. You know, at least that's for me. You know, I didn't read the book, but I went through this course a few years ago, and I'm gonna go ahead and pause for a moment while I go through the gate here. How you doing?
Hey, good. How are you, sir?
Good, thanks.
Let me see the front side one last time. Looks good to me.
All right. Have a good day. All right.
What's the different colors thing?
Gate check. Make sure I'm just not some dude trying to get on the base, right? So they check the ID cards to get on, of course. All right, where was I? Legacy. Yeah. I know I'm not going to make a huge impact on the world, but the little things that I do might make a positive impact on someone else, you know? So in 2016, I went through this program called the Honor Foundation. Great program. And the whole idea with that program is to help special operators transition from the military from the military world to the civilian sector. Teaching us how to, you know, write a resume, how to present ourselves, because things are different in the military, especially from the spec ops side of things. And so I went through it not necessarily because I needed a job, because I was already working at iFly Virginia Beach Indoor Skydiving as the general manager, as a STEM educator, as a flight instructor. And so I went through it because I wanted to give back to the community. You know, I thought in order for me to do that, though, and be a mentor for, you know, people transitioning out of the military as well, I should go through the course to see what they're teaching. You know, because the dream, the desire at that time was to possibly be, you know, one of the Honor Foundation coaches, one of the Honor Foundation mentors, that again, so I can leave not necessarily that legacy, but just to help someone else make that transition, because I've made that transition 2 times. The first time was in 2003 when I separated from the military. The first time I was injured. I fell off a 3-story building and was paralyzed from the neck down. And I eventually recovered, you know, with a head injury, back injury, nerve damage, etc., etc. And making the transition to the civilian sector after being so, you know, for lack of a better term, super gung-ho, right? was difficult. But I did it, you know, and I was very successful in my transition in that I did very well for myself. I transitioned normally, if you will. I mean, I thought it was normal anyway. You know, I went into finance, became a financial advisor, and effectively, like, you know, an insurance salesman, stockbroker, and, you know, did really well for myself there. You know, they had me eventually move out to New York City to open up a branch office and establish that office there, where I brought in more assets for the company and hired and helped build that office many years ago. This was in 2007. Once my wife said to me, "I want to move back to the beach." This was after 2 years. She's like, "You brought money in, you hired advisors. Let's go back to the beach," because our son Severin was 3 years old at the time, and, you know, raising the kid in concrete jungle, it was fun. But, you know, there's something to be said about growing up with grass in the yard. You know, I mean, I remember playing with blowing bubbles with my son in the courtyard of the building that we lived in on 52nd and 10th, and, you know, it was cool. You know, I mean, Central Park was just a few blocks away, and there was so much to do, but there's still something to be said about owning your own car, you know, and going around to wherever you want to go to. I mean, with your own car, I guess, right? I mean, it was easy to get a car. Like, you could rent one very easily there. But yeah, when we moved there after a month of doing the alternate side parking, I let's see, I got bored of it. So I was like, I'm putting the truck. We had a Toyota Sequoia. I moved it into a parking garage, and that was ridiculous at like $800 a month. To include car insurance, you know, it was like $500 a month in New York City. And in fact, did you know that you could? There's a provision. It was USAA Insurance. They had a provision in there where I could have, I think it was like spouse car insurance, spouse liability insurance. So if my wife's in the truck, right, I get into a car accident, it's my fault, right? She could sue me. She could sue me in the state of New York. And USAA in New York State, or maybe specifically New York City, they have a liability insurance for that, you know, so that I'm covered. It's ridiculous. I guess you could sue anybody for anything these days, right? But yeah, so we moved back to Virginia Beach, and you know, decided to stick around in this area. And then I got recalled back onto active duty for a 1 year recall. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years later, I decided to get out again. So I got out of the military 2 times. And once again, that second transition, I was very lucky, and I was planning to go back into the financial sector. However, I decided to go into indoor skydiving. An opportunity presented itself that I just couldn't pass up, and very glad that I did. This is the longest job / career that I've had, not including the military, because yeah, sure, I spent, let's see here, 93 to 98, I was at the academy, 5 years, and then 5 years active duty, and then another 5 years, 2009 or 2005, another 5 years in uniform again. So a total of, what is that, 15 years in uniform? But yeah, I got injured again in the second time around, and I was like, I don't want to play this game anymore. So I'm no longer doing the reserve thing, you know, and among other things. But I am a, you know, disabled veteran with all the different injuries that I've accumulated and experienced. So, but yeah, all right, you know what? Let's do this. Let's take a quick look at the chat. I know you guys are chatting away, and here I am chit-chatting away, talking a little bit about legacy. But real quick on legacy, you know, how are we going to leave the world when we leave it? You know, how are we going to leave the company when we leave it? Will we leave it on a good note, or will we have burned a bridge? You know, and people burn bridges all the time, and it's like, well, why is that even necessary? Don't need to. So let's take a quick look, and I'll hope to catch up and respond to everybody. So give me one. So let's see here. You know, man. Let's see. Been to Tampa a few times. Ruskin, right on, Mad Props. I've been to Tampa once for a conference over there. Oh yes, I hate bugs. Floor is my spot except for the bugs. I hate bugs. Yes, bug spray doesn't work all the time down there for sure. It's, you know, I'm gonna start up closer to the top because things are in order, right? So 4 people hanging out with me this morning. Appreciate you guys. And so Dusty, Jenny, Houston, thank you so much. David, Arizona Drone Dude, appreciate you joining also. Gina CCTV, happy Saturday. Indeed, it is beautiful outside, and I can't wait to fly my drone when I get home. I've been fading my own hair for over 20 years. Nice. You know what? If you've got the skills to cut your own hair, then do it, because it does cost me, what, like $15 for a haircut, including tip here at the exchange, you know, which is why I go here, because I'm cheap. I mean, look at my hair. You know, I'm going bald here, so there's less hair to cut. So I don't need to spend $50, you know, or $30 on a haircut, and then with the expectation that, you know, that they're gonna get a tip, because they don't always get a tip if they jack it up. But I go to the same person here at the exchange on base and get my haircut there. In fact, I'm leaving the hat off now because I should have left it off in the beginning, so I don't have hat head when I go into the barber's chair, right? But if you got the skill to do it on your own, do it, because, you know, Heading to commissary to get some eggs. Oh, nice. You too? Yeah. I got the eggs already, so I don't have to go into the commissary, which is directly in front of me also. Let's see. Hey, bro, just hanging, about to go give my Mustang a bath. Nice. What year is your Mustang, Mad Props, if you're still out hanging out? I've actually got a 73 Gran Torino in the garage, and maybe I should take that out this afternoon. It's my son's car. It was his first car, actually. He found it on Craigslist for a great deal, and I'll tell you that story another time. But for what drone, Jason? Oh, we're talking about the ND filters. That's the DJI Mavic 3 Pro. Cine and sweet. I have ND 1000 for my Air 3. Great for daytime motion blur. You know, I've not really messed around with that, and I would consider myself still new to video editing, especially the color grading side. I usually just use the adjustments in Premiere Pro to click and let it do it for me, because I feel like I don't have time, and I keep going back and forth between, you know, figuring the thing out, and I'm just not good at editing like in Photoshop yet, you know. In fact, I was messing with a photo last night of that sunset that I shot the other night with all the colors. So it goes from a color range from black, there's white, blue to orange, and the red, you know. It was really cool. So I'm still working on that myself. Beautiful day here in Maryland as well. A little windy though. Tomorrow is supposed to be beautiful, 5-mile-per-hour wind, 50 degrees. All right, Mad Props Media, time for you to get in the air then, bro. That's good for chasing what's motion blur. Can't wait to try that in spring, says Mad Props Media to East Coast Thrills. Daytime motion blur. All right. Yes, driving safe isn't a good thing, right? Mommy 45 Adventures, thank you for joining and hanging out. Prob Mama. Elijah Vince R, thank you for joining also. The Mavic 4, right? Like the Mavic 3, but I'm gonna wait. The Mavic 4 will have 4 cameras on it. The Mavic 4 will have 4 cameras. Maria Pinay, Germany, appreciate you hanging out. What time is it there in Germany now? You guys are 6 hours ahead of me, or 7 hours, I think. So in the evening, almost dinner time for you then, yeah? All right. Appreciate the thumbs up, Maria. Thank you for joining and hanging out and staying for a little while, you know. Buddy Holly, the Big Popper, Richie Valens. Heck yeah. They crashed in the winter and pretty much froze to death. Sad. Yeah, I mean, the internet, right? It has all the different reports and how things are, but you know, back then, did they die instantly or did they freeze to death? You know, operator error, you know, it never made it to its destination. I mean, it's different how things are, where today, thank God, right, where we've got the technology to go and send out a rescue mission to go get them easier, right? What year was that? 1959 that bird went down? February 3rd, 1959. Because Don McLean wrote the song in, or was it 69? Because he wrote the song in 61. All right. Someone's going to put it in the chat for me. Thank you for your service, brother. Unfortunately, I never got that honor, but let some shit pop off on the home front. Locked and loaded. Yeah, no kidding, man. Who knows what's going on at the border, right? Lourdes Andrade de Fortaleza. Hola. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Let's see. Stephen Wire. Awesome, bro. Thank you. Never heard your injury story before. That had to be a scary time. Glad you recovered. Thank you. Yeah, me too. I mean, I got a head injury, you know, and there's nothing too much wrong. There's nothing too much. If you're still hanging, yeah. I mean, there's more to it, and happy to share that story with you guys another time, you know. Nothing but cows and country. Wouldn't have it any other way. Indeed. Indeed. You know, I love driving through the countryside. And you know what? I'm still a city boy at heart, though, because I love the city. I really love New York City. And I haven't been there in a while. Maybe we'll go visit there in the winter next year. Because I prefer New York City in the winter. Particularly when there's fresh snow. But it's hard to time that, you know what I mean? Yeah, I remember, I think it was Thanksgiving 2007. It was so cold. And then we had family come up from Florida for Christmas that same year. And it was snowing and it was beautiful. I remember It was my wife's best friend at the time. Her kid was young also. I think he was 5 years old or something, or maybe 7 years old. Seven was still in the stroller, so I had him actually on my shoulders while we were walking around the city. You know, going to Rockefeller Center, looking at the tree. It was snowing. It was cold. It was awesome. Wouldn't move back. Love it here. Indeed. Indeed. Florida. All right. Man, you guys are blowing up that chat. I appreciate that. That's cool. Alex in Oslo. How are you, bro? What time is it there where you are? 8:30 p.m.? You know, Norway is such a beautiful place, man. The only places I've been to in Norway was Oslo for a conference, so I didn't get a chance to really explore. And Evenes, north of the Arctic Circle. It was cold. In fact, my Facebook picture is a picture of me in a in one of the Norwegian fjords. The water was -5 degrees. We jumped in the water for a benefit. That was a fun time. You should really jump on Sean's channel on Tuesday night. That's why I'm learning most of my photography stuff. All right, sure. You know what? Post the link for that for me, Dusty. Maybe, because as weird as it sounds, now I play Fortnite all the time at night. If I can't fly my drone to play Fortnite. Video editing is its own thing. Takes a lot of time. Yes, time and eye. You know, I mean, I think I've got an eye for composition, for and seeing, and flying the lines that I want to fly, very cinematic like. To include the way I fly freestyle, I try to make it as cinematic as possible. And because I don't fly it as much, it's gotten jaggy, if you will, or very, So time on the sticks, right, is what I got to do. 71 down here. Man, that's warm. In fact, it's getting warm right now, just sitting in the sun, But Marites Alcantar, thank you for joining also. Let me get you a jacket if I can here. It's not letting me. There you go. Add as moderator. Standard mod. Best thing to do is partner with a video editor. Indeed. However, I want to do it myself because I don't want to pay a video editor. This is there's some things that I'll pay for and some things that I'll pay to delegate out, because it's all about the team effort. But it's just one of those things where I want to learn. I want to learn the skills so that I can do things on my own. And I know that a video editor can do a great thing for me and save me time, but I want to do it, All right, let's see here. 23/1959. All right, thank you very much. Mad props. That's good. New York City gives you energy. There's something about that place. Indeed. New York accent used, guys. Yes, indeed. It comes out every once in a while. 2053. Okay, check. Right on, man. Right on. You know what, Alex, we ought to do? Get your drone out one of these days, and we'll have to do a collab where you fly your drone at Your Lady of Norway in what's the name of the town that it's in? So in Virginia Beach, we have a statue, Our Lady of Norway, that was donated by, I think, the people of the town whose sister statue is at, and so as many years ago, early 1900s, a ship, maybe it's 1800s, a ship went down carrying many Norwegian sailors. They perished off the coast of Virginia Beach, and so there's a memorial of the Norwegian ladies, I guess, looking at each other from at the sea. I think it's pretty cool. But we should do a collab one day, or just shoot the video, bro. Moss, Norway, south of Oslo. Moss, Norway. Yes, that would be cool. One of my friends that I met when I was stationed in Spain, she studied to be an archaeologist. Actually, she's in Oslo. I haven't heard from her in a while. I think she's on my Facebook someplace. But yeah. But let's see here. There you go. That was this week. There you go. That was this week. Check. Thank you very much, Dusty. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to make a mental note of clicking that link, to click that link later on. But I'm here at the barbershop now. I hope that you enjoyed the drive stream this morning. Appreciate you guys hanging out and joining me for this quick moment. If you missed a little bit of it, reach back or play it back later on if you like. But just me chit-chatting away about the legacy. It's something that I've been thinking about, but because I feel that I've left a positive legacy in the people's lives that I've touched. Back to the Honor Foundation thing. One of the classes that we had that we listened in on was Simon Sinek's Start With Why. And the moderators for that book, if you will, because I didn't read the book that we read was called Leaders Eat Last, which is a concept that I've adopted ever since I learned about it back in 1990. Let's see, I graduated high school, 93, 94, 95, when I went through some summer training. What, 95? Summer of 95 or 96? Back in the late 90s. I went through some training called Midshipman Leadership Training, where we went to Quantico and played Marine Corps. And as a result of that, Marines would say, all right, whoever is the team leader for today, you eat last because the leaders eat last. And the idea is that, if you're a good leader, your people, your men will recognize that you're eating last to make sure that they are fed first, and they'll make sure that they save food for you also. And so, cool. And so I've adopted that, and I've kept that, at heart for years. Graduated in 97. Enjoy listening to your daily plans and thoughts. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Dusty. I enjoy chatting about it also. Steve Carpenter, thanks for joining, bro. Thank you very much. Class of 2004. Oh, from high school? Nice. Right on. I graduated the Naval Academy in 1998. And this midshipman leadership training when I was at the academy, that's where I learned about this concept of leaders eat last. And somebody, this Simon Sinek, wrote a book called Leaders Eat Last. And it's like, man, I should have wrote that book, right? But for one, what a legacy he has left with the books that he writes and the lives that he's touched and improved in through the sales of his books, mine included. Start with why. And so it was cool because it wasn't like I came up with my why. The way we developed my why was through the I guess me telling stories about things in my life when I was a youth that had a major impact on my life and who I am today. And that's for another drive stream or live stream. But and maybe that's just a specific video that I actually make also, because another idea, right? So point is, start with why, and I told stories that made me feel good, that and man, it's getting hot out here. Stories that made me feel good, that had a positive impact on my life growing up in my development, and I'll tell you those stories another time. But my group listened to what I said, and they helped me formulate my why. They helped me, they wrote my why for me based on those stories. My values that I hold, the values that I try to live by, because I've developed something. Well, I didn't develop it, but we'll talk about values another time also. A lot. But point is, my why, per my peers in the group, they said that they coined my why as, my why is to shape the lives of young people so that they're prepared for life as contributing members to society. And as a result of that alone, I almost quit I-Fly Virginia Beach indoor skydiving. I was this close because I didn't think I was fulfilling my why. I thought I was in the wrong line of work. Let's fix the lighting a little bit, yeah? Yeah, I thought I was in the wrong line of work. I didn't think I was making a positive impact on anybody's lives. And I was really concerned, I was like, about that. So the next class, the next following Tuesday, I expressed this to the proctor, the mentors of the class, and he's like, and that's exactly the kind of impact that Simon Sinek's Start With Why should have, to really make you think about what you're doing with your life to fulfill your why. And I was like, yeah. And then he said, how many people at iFly Virginia Beach are younger than you? I mean, with the exception of one, everyone is younger than me. I'm myself and the old man, Bob, if you're watching, right? I mean, he's 10 years young, 10 years more mature than I. How do you like that, right? 10 years mature to me. But the funny thing is, he and we go back and forth and we have positive discussions, and, sometimes, the back and forth, we understand that to be a dynamic tension where I may disagree, he may disagree, we come together in the middle for something. And sometimes it's, aye, sir, you're the boss, that's my marching orders, etc., etc. Point is, there are a lot more people that are younger than me there that I could have a positive impact on. And even though, let's say, one person recently terminated his employment with us. And even though he left, I wanted to still have some type of a positive impact on him. So when we spoke after he left, I was like, hey, from a personal and professional development perspective, think about how you might end things differently in the future. And so if anything, I just hope that that had a positive impact on his life. And that's why I continue to work at iFly Virginia Beach, because I believe that that's the best leadership laboratory that I could ever be a part of and in. The reason for my why, Stephen Wire disappeared a few years back. I've been struggling to find a new one. Interesting, Stephen. Maybe if you're when you're in town next, perhaps I can help you discover that. I would love to sit down and just have that kind of a discussion. In fact, we could do it via YouTube if you're interested in doing something like that on, or a Zoom. There's something there. Everybody has a why. And or just think about the things in your life when you were a child, when you were in middle school, in high school, in college, as a young adult, a young professional that was single, as a young married person with no kids, as a young married person with kids, and the most recent one. Think about the stories, the happiest stories that you've ever had, and the stories that have possibly entered your life. And think about that. Write it down. Write it down to help you figure out, hey, who you are, what you can do. And or read that book, Start With Why by Simon Sinek. But I appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off now. We're approaching 45 minutes now, and yeah, we'll go from there. We can have that discussion next time you guys are in town to hang out. And there's something there, Stephen. Everybody's got a why. What's yours? Once again, my why is to shape the lives of young people so that they're prepared for life as contributing members to society. And as a teacher of STEM at iFly Virginia Beach, for one, as well as the SeaTac Soars Elementary School indoor skydiving coach, I feel that I'm doing something there along those lines as well. Because it's not just indoor skydiving that I'm teaching them, it's building confidence, starting something and finishing it. It's believing in yourself, because I still have kids that are still shy, and I get on them a little bit. Hey, don't feel bad that you didn't do what I told you to do. All right, listen to me, so that you can do it again next time. Let's watch the video, so that we can implement the next lesson. Because you're not supposed to get it the first time. Guess what? You know what to do the second time. Let's do it this time. For example, and it's just figuring out a way to get through the kids' heads. Some of them, boom, got it. One kid just smiles the entire time, which is great, One, you could see that they're extremely nervous when they're in the wind, and that's fine too. They'll get it, I believe in them, and that alone will help them get to where they want to be indoor skydiving wise. But again, thank you so much for hanging out. I wish I could find my Y45, and my Y feels like a pinball bouncing around. Dusty, you can. I mean, how old was that? Let's see here. I was almost 40 years old when I did that course. Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. It's a starting point anyway, right? All right, folks, have a great day. I appreciate you hanging out. Thank you so much. And maybe I'll get on the live stream to shoot so you could watch me fly around the yard or the Malibu Park area. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Goodbye, YouTube.